My mama said nothing good happens when it's late and you're dancing alone. She's in my head saying it's not attractive, wearing that dress and red lipstick. This is what I wanted, this is what I like. I've been a good girl for a long time, but baby I like flirting, a lover by my side. Can't be a good girl even if I tried. Cause after midnight, I'm feeling kinda freaky. Maybe it's the club lights. I kinda wanna kiss your girlfriend if you don't mind. I love a little drama, let's start a bar fight. Cause everything good happens you don't wanna call it love. You only wanna be the one that I call baby. You can kiss 100 boys in bars, shoot another shot, try to stop the feeling. You can say it's just the way you are, make a new excuse, another stupid reason. Good luck, babe. Good luck, babe. Good luck. You have to stop the world just to stop the feeling. Good luck, babe. Good luck, babe. You have to stop the world just to stop the feeling. I'm cliche, who cares? It's a sexually explicit kind of love affair, and I cry, it's not fair. I just need a little loving, I just need a little. Think I'm gonna call it off, even if you call it love. I just wanna love someone who calls me baby. You can kiss 100 boys in bars, shoot another shot, try to stop the feeling. You can say it's just the way you are, make a new excuse, another stupid reason. Good luck, babe. Good luck, babe. Good luck. You have to stop the world just to stop the feeling. Good luck, babe. Good luck, babe. You have to stop the world just to stop the feeling. When you wake up next to him in the middle of the night, with your head in your hands and nothing more than his wife. And when you think about me, all of those years ago, you're standing face to face with I told you so. You know I hate to say it, I told you so. You know I hate to say, but I told you so. You can kiss 100 boys in bars, shoot another shot, try to stop the feeling. I told you so. You can say it's just the way you are, make a new excuse, another stupid reason. Good luck, babe. Good luck, babe. Good luck. You have to stop the world just to stop the feeling. Good luck, babe. Good luck, babe. You have to stop the world just to stop the feeling. You have to stop the world just to stop the feeling. You have to stop the world just to stop the feeling. You have to stop the world just to stop the feeling. She was a playboy, Bridget Bardot. She showed me things I didn't know. She did it right there out on the deck, put her canine teeth inside of my neck. I'm in the hallway waiting for ya, mini skirt and my go-go boots. I just want you to make a move, so slow down, sit down and stew. I just wanna get to know ya, cause I didn't quite think it through. Fell in love with the thought of you, now I'm choked up, face down, burnt out. Baby, why don't you come over? Red wine supernova, falling into me. Let's pick it up now. I don't care that you're a stoner. Red wine supernova, fall right into me. It's my type. That's right. You just told me, want me to fuck you. Baby, I will, cause I really want to. I just wanna get to know ya, guess I didn't quite think it through. Fell in love with the thought of you, now I'm choked up, face down, burnt out. Baby, why don't you come over? Red wine supernova, falling into me. Hey y'all, let's pick it up now. I don't care that you're a stoner. Red wine supernova, falling need to twin bang as a roommates. Don't worry, we're cool. I heard you like magic. I've got a wand and a rabbit. So baby, let's get freaky, get kinky. Let's make this bed get squeaky. Baby, why don't you come over? Red wine supernova, falling into me. I don't care that you're a stoner.
is that this is really easy and convenient to bring, especially if you're on location or doing a studio shoot like I'm going to show you in a little bit. But a couple of things you're going to need is obviously a camera. So here I have the Canon R5. You're going to need a tethering cable, and then obviously the iPad along with the eVoto app. All right, now that I'm on the iPad, I'm going to go ahead and launch the eVoto app. And on the home screen, this is where you're going to see basically any projects that you might have. But what I want to do is I want to create a new project. A new project basically means I'm starting a new session. So I'm about to do a portrait session here in the studio. I'm going to go ahead and click right here. It says create new project. Now when I do that, I'm going to do tethered shooting because I'm going to do a live tether. So I'm going to go tethered shooting. And then here it's going to ask me create a project. What do you want to name it? So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put Sam, because that's who I'm shooting with in a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now I already have my camera on. If I turn it off, you're going to see that you're not going to see any of the settings pop up on the screen. So it's going to be looking for the camera. Once I turn it on, it'll detect my camera settings, the camera that I'm using, and so forth. Now, one of the biggest advantages of tethering into the iPad is you get a much bigger screen opposed to the small screen that you get here on the camera. The client can see themselves and they can cycle the session here in the studio. I'm going to go ahead and along with the eVoto app. All right.
You can actually cross people out and type in remove the people crossed out in red. Gone. Nano Banana is now officially in Photoshop, which means you can now select an area, type how you want to edit it, generate, and boom, it's done. No plugins, no scripts. It's natively in the contextual taskbar. But before you run to try all of the amazing things you can do with it, whether it's creatively restoring photos or changing an outfit with very many multiple options or recovering lost details, please note that this feature right now is only available in Photoshop Beta, which is different from the regular version of Photoshop. You can easily install it by going to your Creative Cloud desktop app, go to Apps, Beta at the top, and from here install Photoshop Beta. And if you're still using a Captain Jack Sparrow version of Photoshop and want to try Photoshop with Nano Banana for free for a limited time, I'll leave a link to the trial version in the description. Now you can use Nano Banana by itself in platforms like Gemini, but Nano Banana in Photoshop does bring two major advantages. This is an example of missed focus. You can clearly see that the eyes are out of focus, whereas the hair and everything else is in focus. Now you could input the entire image just as you do with Gemini by pressing Ctrl or Command A and selecting everything. Clicking on Generative Fill and typing in restore and sharpen this blurry photo and add details. From the Models menu here, you want to make sure Gemini 2.5 Nano Banana is selected and then click on Generate. Now Nano Banana does have a smaller resolution limitation. It generates the result, this looks sharp, but still it's blurry. Why? Because of the resolution limitation. Here is the before, here's the after. It's even worse. But with Photoshop, you have the option to select a smaller area. In this case, let us first delete this layer. With the rectangular marquee tool, we are just going to make a selection of just the area that is out of focus. In this case, it is this area. Now let us try the same prompt inside of Generative Fill. I'm just going to paste it. Gemini is selected. Click on Generate. And now have a look. This is the real magic. Here is the before and here is the after. It's crazy and it has not changed a thing. Let us take a look at the lips and the nose. Here is the before. Have a look at the blurry lips. Here is the after. Crazy. So that's our first advantage, resolution. The way Nano Banana is right now, it makes some more changes to the generation as well, resulting into these harsh edges, and you can easily fix this with feathering or with masking. So with the mask selected right here, you can take the brush, you can take a soft round brush with black as the foreground color and just take care of the edges like so. It's not a big deal. Similarly, right here, there you go. That's how to fix this issue, and oh my gosh, this is just brilliant, isn't it? The second advantage obviously is the convenience of layers and masks. In this case, I selected just the outfit area and changed it with Gemini or Nano Banana. And then I felt that the smile needs to be fixed. No disrespect, and we fixed the teeth just like that on a separate layer. And then we wanted to add some jewelry. We selected just these areas and created some jewelry. Looks incredibly fantastic. Now here's the deal. If we were to do it directly with Gemini or any other application, we would have to upload the entire photo, and every time we ask it to make a change, it will make a change in other areas as well. There's pixelation, but in this case, we only select specific parts and make changes to that. Now it is time for us to move into more incredible use cases of Nano Banana in Photoshop, but before we do, know that I have a special gift towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Starting with recovering details. In this case, we have completely lost details in the bride's dress. I recommend using the rectangular marquee tool because generations are rectangle anyway, but you can use the lasso tool, selection brush tool, that is up to you. But with the rectangular marquee tool, let's make a selection of the entire dress. You want to make sure that you don't miss anything, so I'm going to add a little bit right there. Click on Generative Fill and just type in add embroidered details to her dress and click on Generate. By the way, I've already done it. So here is the before and here is the after. Keep in mind, whenever you generate, it will move slightly. So you will have to use masking or feathering to blend it, just as we did in the mist focus example where we cleaned up the edges. Let us talk about restoration, something where Nano Banana truly shines. Since the entire image needs to be restored, select it all by pressing Ctrl or Command A. Click on Generative Fill. You want to make sure Gemini is selected and use this prompt. And then you can add more details to the prompt. I have already done it. Here is the after. Take a look at it. I cannot believe this. I did a couple tries and these were the results. As you can see the prompt right here. Don't worry, I will share them with you later. Second, third, fourth. All of them fantastic. Take your pick. This is my favorite. Now, how do you turn your restorations into high resolution? Yes, there are many platforms like Magnific, Topaz that you can use. But let's say you want to regenerate some details and say you want more details on the face. Right now, it is not that highly detailed. So here is what you do. You make a selection just of that face area, click on Generative Fill and type in a prompt like restore and sharpen this blurry photo and add details, just as we did before with the mist focus. Click on Generate. I have already done it and here is the after. This is crazy. Before, after. If it changes the portrait a lot, generate one more time. Also, this badge was just not looking right. So I also did the same thing over the badge and asked it to recreate the details, and there we have the result. So overall, this is just on another level. You can also change the lighting of your photos and make them come to life as you restore them. Here's an old photo of my grandfather, the only photo that I have, and this is what you can do with it. Let me share with you the prompt. It's simply restore and color this photo and change the background to a dark interior. You can add some details of your own. This is the key. Change the lighting to, and then describe your lighting. Here's the first result, second, third, fourth, all of them just so brilliant. Just like Nano Banana drastically transforms an image while keeping the characters same. What if you could do the same with music? I really love this track, but it's kind of distracting for a video, isn't it? All you have to do is to type lo-fi with chill beats and hit apply. And the exact same track turns so laid back. Thanks to our sponsor, Epidemic Sound, you can now use this insane new feature to adapt the music to exactly match your video. Let's say we love the rhythm and the style of this song, but you want to make it more mysterious. And you only want to change the instrumentals without changing the drums or bass. Just keep those unchecked and click apply. And magic. And the most beautiful part, every time you use this AI to adapt a track, the original artists get fairly compensated. I've been using Epidemic Sound for the last 500 plus videos way before this collaboration. With a massive library of music and sound effects, you also have incredible features like auto-suggest tracks by just uploading a video clip, recommending similar songs when you post a Spotify link, and so much more. And in all of this, you never have to worry about copyright strikes or takedowns. I highly recommend that you try Epidemic Sound absolutely for free. Click the link in description and use the code PIX50 to get 2 months at 50% off. I remember making this video where I manually painted. Took me about 15 minutes or more to remove all the shadows from the face. But then I tried the same thing with Nano Banana when it released, Generative Fill, and typed in remove all shadows from the face and add some skin texture. Boom. This is what I got. There is one limitation though, and that is the resolution. It's still not that high. Here is the before. Look at the details. Here is the after. Although there are solutions to that, maybe that's for another video. Let's move on. There's a lot of crowd in this photo, and it's a hard thing to remove because there's a lot of intricacies and art in the background. But I tried the regular remove tool, clicked on find distractions, people, and removed it that way. And this, my friend, was the result. Before, after. Photoshop's generative fill doesn't do a great job in creating those intricate details. But then I tried the same thing with Nano Banana, but I had to select the entire area because the generation can move, and here is the result I got. Oh my gosh, this is so darn much better. But the resolution takes a hit. Now you can also do things that were impossible to remove before. Select the entire image, and with a simple prompt like remove all scaffolding, this is what you can generate. Let me share with you a couple more results. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. Different variations, but have a look at the prompt. So darn simple. Here's another example for the same. Before, after. Crazy unbelievable. I made a video about removing fences in Photoshop many years ago, and it took me 30 minutes to do it. But in this case, you can just select the entire image, use a simple prompt like remove the fence, and this is what I got. Although the resolution might not be as good as doing it manually, but removing such an impossible thing, it's just insane. Before, after. Now do know that most times it does take a few tries. It doesn't always happen in the first generation. You can also turn heads very easily. In this case, I have made an extra selection to give her some breathing room, and you can type in make her look towards the camera and then click on generate. And this is what I came up with. Of course, I had to use some masking to make it softer, but have a look. Here is the before and here is the after. You can also, of course, change the entire pose of the body. In this case, when I selected the entire thing and I asked it to make him pose like a ballerina, it changed the outfit in a way that I didn't want to see. So I had to use this prompt. Have a look at the prompt right here. Make this man pose like a ballerina in the exact same outfit, wearing sneakers. Otherwise, it was changing it to the ballerina thing. So here's the second, third. Oh my gosh, this man is so darn expressive. Now, Nano Banana works great with markings and annotations. It's like it understands you. In this case, I have crossed out these two people in the front and then selected just this particular area and simply asked Nano Banana, remove the people crossed in red. And this, my friend, is what I got. Isn't this so good? Now, do know the first time I did it, it generated this. Where did Akon come from? Before? After? But I had to generate one more time to keep it true to the original subjects. Now you can take your annotations to the next level and have people pose with you. Not my car, by the way, or truck. Here is a photo of Keanu Reeves, and I just typed in, make this man pose with the man on the left. That's it. And then you can select the entire image by pressing Ctrl or Command A. And if there are prompts in your image, just type in, complete the prompt in this image and click on generate. I've already done it, and this is what it did. Cool, isn't it? Now, can you expand photos with Gemini just like generative fill? Keep in mind, Gemini is made for making changes to particular areas. But still, I have made a selection, and let us just type in complete this photo. We want to make sure Nano Banana is selected and click on generate. And as you can see, it does completely fail that way. That's crazy generation, but you can trick it. So here's what I did. I filled those areas in red and then typed in, fill the red area. That's it. And generated. And this is what it did. So that's how it can work, but still it will take a hit to the resolution. So you may need to use some masking to get it back. Now, this is one of my favorite creative applications with just turning this portrait into an oil painting with thick strokes. And this is what it generates. Marvelous, isn't it? And the great thing about Nano Banana is that it makes the painting look like him. Here's the before and here is the after. You can also ask it to change the background as it converts your photo to a painting. In this selfie with my mom, the background wasn't as exciting. So this is the result that I created. Before, after. And it still exactly looks like me and my mom. All you have to do is to add a little more to this prompt. Here I have said, change the background to something abstract with heavy brush strokes. Again, another result, similar. Here's another one. You can also change the camera angle, although the resolution will take a hit. Select the entire thing and type in change the camera angle to bird's eye view or whatever camera angle you want. And this is what we generated. And it's pretty accurate. He is still holding the same guitar. It's still the same person. It's just that there might be some issues here and there. Now you can also use this to change text on anything, and it should maintain the style and the font. Let's see. Let us ask it to change the text from Marriott to Nano Banana. And this is what it did. Mostly it did maintain the font, and also the hoarding style. Before, after. Now I also made a selection here and asked it to change it to a banana icon, and there we have a nano banana building. Let's talk about changing the lighting, and sometimes in Gemini, you have to think creatively. In this case, there were harsh shadows all over the place, and I wanted to remove those. So I tried using prompts like change the lighting to overcast and make the shadows soft. As you can see clearly that it did not work right here. I also tried another prompt, remove the shadows, very straightforward, it did not work. And then I thought about what are the times when shadows are soft. It is either evening, morning, dawn, and then I tried change time of the entire scene to dawn, and there you go, it fixed that. So here's the before, here's the after. You can even try evening. It creates an effect like this. You can try mornings as well. Now, if you've used Photoshop before, you know that one of the hardest things to do is changing the color from white to black or black to white. And in some cases, it is almost impossible. In this case, as you can see, there's also sunshine on the jacket as well. This part is absolutely dark. Trying to make it white manually would be incredibly, insanely impossible. But in this case, I can just change the color of the jacket to white, type that in, and with Gemini, here is the result, and it maintains most of the stuff. Since we can change the time of the day, what's stopping us from changing seasons? But do not forget to change into seasonal clothes. So in this case, here is summer, likely, and here is winter. So darn good. Now keep in mind, I have not only asked it to change the season of the entire scene to winter, but also change their clothes to winter clothes. Here are a couple other results. Here's the first one. Second one. Speaking of different seasons, you can also make it rain. But before just typing in make it rain, there are some other changes you need to think about before as well. For example, if it's raining, this lady wouldn't be here with this cycle, and there wouldn't be so many people out there. Also, there would be clouds in the sky. She would be wearing a raincoat or maybe an umbrella as well. You need to put in all those details, and this is what I got. Have a look, the subject is at the exact same spot. This is so darn nicely done. Here's another generation that I did, and also the resolution is not as good, but you can upscale it as well. There are many technologies available. Here's the before, and here is the after. Crazy good, isn't it? Before, after, and how I upscaled it, maybe that's for the next video or some other video. Let me know if you're interested in the comments. You can also create some insane product photos from your logo or text, although it won't be as detailed and there might be some pixelation here and there, and you wouldn't have those flexibility. It's great for ideas. So let's say this is your logo and text. You can select it all and then type in something like place this logo on a black soda can or wherever you want to place it. You can have descriptive prompts as well. And these are a few things I generated. Have a look. First result. And here is the second one. The prompts I used were descriptive, like levitating dramatically above a burst of splashing clear water, and you can be as descriptive as you want with these prompts. And with the exception of some generations and being way better than ChatGPT, it will try to maintain your logo and text on the object. Here's the first, here's the second, and in both cases, it's pretty darn good. Now, this is a fun application, not at all professional. Let's say
Hi, this is Marty from Photoshop Art House. A few days ago, Adobe rolled out Photoshop 2026, which included several filters that were previously available in the beta version. I recently uploaded a separate tutorial on my favorite one, the Harmonize filter, and I've included its link in my video's description if you'd like to check it out. Today, I'll show you 3 more new filters added to 2026 that enhances, upscales, and sharpens your photos. If you haven't downloaded version 2026 yet, open your Creative Cloud app, head to Home, and click Updates. Here we can download them. Let's start with an image of this lion. If you'd like to use it as well, I provided its link in my video's description or project files. To fit it onto your canvas, press Ctrl or Command 0. The image measures just 600 by 400 pixels with a resolution of 72 pixels per inch. Notice how we see a new message in this window that allows us to upscale the image directly in generative upscale. However, if the image size window isn't open, go to Image and Generative Upscale. Open the AI model list and you'll see three options: Firefly Upscaler, Topaz Gigapixel, and Topaz Bloom. Topaz Gigapixel is for realistic high-fidelity upscaling of traditional photographs. It preserves original details for maximum realism. Topaz Bloom uses what they call creative upscaling to reinterpret and add new artistic details, especially in AI-generated or digital art. The Topaz filters are partner models, which are considered premium and require more generative credits than the Firefly Upscaler. So you might be asking yourself, yeah, but Marty, what's the deal with generative credits? So to answer all of those questions, I provided the Adobe link that answers all questions related to generative credits, such as the number of credits each AI model uses and how many credits you have in your Creative Cloud plan. Since we're upscaling a standard photo, I'll select Topaz Gigapixel, which I think generally delivers better results than the Firefly Upscaler, though it does require more generative credits. You can also enable face recovery, which uses AI to reinterpret and enhance facial features during the upscaling process. We can choose to double or quadruple the image size, so let's go with 4x. We'll see the new dimensions displayed here. It takes between 10 to 20 seconds to process, so I'll speed it up. Here's the before, and here's the after. Check out how noticeably sharper and more defined the upscaled image is, even though it's 4 times larger than the original. Next, we'll sharpen the image even more with the new AI Sharpen filter. Go to Filter and AI Sharpen. Bam! Here's the before, and here's the after. I'll fit it onto my canvas. To compare the size of the original to the upscaled version, I'll open the original lion image and drag it onto the tab of the upscaled version. Then I'll drag it down and release. It really did an amazing job. By the way, I recently published a full review and tutorial on the AI Arty Image Enhancer, which takes upscaling and image enhancement even further. It enlarges images up to 8 times, not just 4 times their original size, and reaches resolution up to 32K with stunning clarity. If you'd like to watch the video, I included the link in this video's description. Finally, let's explore the new filter designed to remove noise and grain while restoring detail in low-light photos. For this example, I'll open an image that clearly has a lot of grain and noise. Then I'll go to Filter and AI Denoise. As I toggle before and after, we can see how well it removed all the grain and noise from the photo. This is Marty from Photoshop Art House. Thanks for watching.
Photoshop just dropped some amazing new updates that will allow you to make quick changes to your photos just using generative fill, from swapping clothes to compositing people into existing photos, changing the angle of the image entirely, and harmonize the lighting. You don't want to miss this. Let's jump on in. In the first example here, let's change the clothing and the overall lighting of this image. So we can go to the rectangular marquee tool and make sure you have your base photo selected, so the original photo selected, and just select the entire image. And now you can select generative fill here, and you can choose different models. So with Gemini 2.5 or Nano Banana and the Flux Context Pro here, this actually works better with selecting the whole image, and you can actually type out an instructional edit to make that change. If you're using Firefly though, you need to select just that portion of the image. That's why I selected the entire image, because I'm going to be using Gemini 2.5 to get the best results here. So I'm going to type in replace the woman's sweater with an oversized fluffy blue faux fur jacket and keep her face the same. It's important to add that extra detail because sometimes Gemini will add some weird things to people's faces if you don't specify it. But overall, it's important to be as precise as possible. So let's go ahead and hit generate. And look at that, here's the result. I think it looks amazing, and it even removed the dress and gave her a pair of legs here that are really realistic in my opinion. The next thing I want to do is make the background purple, the overall lighting purple, and the coat purple. To simplify this after playing around with it, I found that it's better to select the original layer and the generated layer and then convert it to a smart object. So select both the layers, then go up to layer, Smart Objects, convert to Smart Object. And this is basically like nesting in Premiere Pro. If you double click on this, it'll open up as two separate layers, but now it's one layer. And now what we can do is we can use the marquee tool again, the rectangular marquee tool, which is here, or you can just press M. And let's go ahead and let's select this again, generative fill, and let's type out, change the color of the fur coat to purple and change the overall lighting to purple in the scene. And now let's hit generate, also using Gemini 2.5, aka Nano Banana. And look at that, here's the result. Here's the before and the after. And all we had to use was a text prompt. I mean, amazing. All right, there's so much more to show you that's really exciting, but first, a brief introduction. If you guys are new here, my name is Kelsey. I'm the creator of Premiere Gal, and usually on this channel, we do video editing tutorials, but we also do tutorials in After Effects for visual effects and motion graphics, as well as Photoshop tutorials. If this video is helping you out, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And also, this is not sponsored, but if you are looking for graphic templates, 3D models, as well as photos and fonts to use in your graphic designs, I recommend Envato because they have the best price on the market. Now, I've put a link to my affiliate link below, so if you decide to sign up, it helps support the channel. That's all, and now let's show you some more generative fill effects. All right, so this is generative upscale. So if you have an old image or a photo that's a little bit lower resolution and you want to upscale it, you can use generative upscale. So this is the thumbnail that I downloaded from my YouTube channel from a video from a couple years ago. And the resolution is okay, but as we zoom in here, you can see, it gets pixelated pretty fast and it's not as high of quality that I would like to use before I make some more changes to it. So with the layer selected, you're going to go up to Image, Generative Upscale. And you can choose 2 times or 4 times. Let's try with 2 times and upscale. So let's go ahead and zoom out by pressing Command 0 or Control 0. And you can see that it created a new upscaled version on top of our original. So this is the upscaled version, but let's turn off this layer and show you the original. Look at the difference. It even added details in my eyelashes. So now we just have an overall sharper image, bigger image to use to then add designs too. And from here, if you want to, you can also use a text prompt to change this image's camera angle without having to reshoot it. You just use a text prompt. So this is game changing for YouTube thumbnails, right? So if you want to A/B test different angles to see what performs well, you can create new angles of the same image. So that's what we're going to do with this thumbnail. So I'm using the generative upscaled version here, and with it selected, I'm going to go back up to the rectangular marquee tool and just select this entire image and select generative fill. And let's type in change camera angle to a high angle. Click here to make sure that you're using the Gemini 2.5 Nano Banana and generate. And look at that, it made an entirely new angle from the image. I mean, this is incredible. And we can try out as many different angles as we want. We can keep this one here and just turn it off, go back to the original, and then select again. And this time, let's type in change camera angle to a low angle, generate. And here's the result. We have a low angle. So here's the original, low angle, and the high angle. And you can export these two new angles to test out on YouTube. Now, I recommend doing this when your design is done, so that way all you have to do is use generative fill to change the angle of the entire design. All right, so if this wasn't enough, let's take it a step further. So let's say I want to composite another person in this thumbnail. So here I have a headshot of my editor, Rickard, and I want to add him behind me, let's say with his hand on my shoulder for this particular thumbnail. Now, just to make it easier with it selected, let's go ahead and select subject, and then we can select this button here to create a mask. So that way it removes the background. You can try without removing the background, but I find that I get better results when I do that. So now I can select this and position it in the area that I want him to be. Now, before I use generative fill to composite him into the scene, I first want to harmonize the lighting to match my existing photo in the background. So with the headshot selected, I'm going to click on this new button called Harmonize. And this is just going to analyze the background image of me and apply the same lighting to Rickard's headshot. It's pretty incredible. And look at that. You can see that there's a new harmonized layer. We can turn off the original headshot here. And next, with this harmonized layer selected, we can go ahead and use the rectangular marquee tool again, select the entire frame, and then go to generative fill. And this is where you type in a prompt of how you want to composite this image into the existing one. I typed out, add a body to the man and place him behind the woman. Place his right hand on the right shoulder of the woman. Do not change the woman's appearance or clothing. And this is important because when I tested this out before, it would change me, add more hair to me, or add an extra button in my shirt, or do something weird. So it's important to include that detail. And then I added blend the man seamlessly into the scene. And now let's generate. All right, so here's the result. I think it did a pretty good job. If we turn off these layers here, we can see this is the original headshot. This is the harmonized layer of the headshot. And then this is the instructional edit that Gemini 2.5 Nano Banana created just using that text prompt. So, if we wanted to post this thumbnail with Rickard behind me, this is a really easy way to do that. So you can imagine the possibilities here when it comes to creating designs and if you want to place objects or people inside of it. Let me show you another example. I have this background of a soccer stadium, or if you're from the rest of the world, a football stadium, and I have this stock photo of this soccer player and I want to place him in this scene. So first off, I'm going to select the subject and let's go ahead and create a mask to remove the background. Now with this selected here, click on Harmonize. And this is going to apply the lighting of the background to our soccer player. And look at that. It even added a shadow. If it doesn't work out the first time for you, you can always generate again until you get the result you want. It's so freaking cool. So you can see how this can be useful for a variety of scenarios, not just for sport photo editing, but for any graphic design for that matter. So if this video helped you out, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Updates that will allow you to make quick changes to your photos just using generative fill. from swapping clothes to compositing people into existing photos, changing the angle of the image entirely, and harmonize the lighting. You don't want to miss this. Let's jump on in. In the first example here, let's change the clothing and the overall lighting of this image. So we can go to the rectangular marquee tool and make sure you have your base photo selected, so the original photo selected, and just select the entire image. And now you can select generative fill here, and you can choose different models. So with Gemini 2.5 or Nano Banana and the Flux Context Pro here, this actually works better with selecting the whole image, and you can actually type out an instructional edit to make that change. If you're using Firefly though, you need to select just that portion of the image. That's why I selected the entire image, because I'm going to be using Gemini 2.5 to get the best results here. So I'm going to type in replace the woman's sweater with an oversized fluffy blue faux fur jacket and keep her face the same. It's important to add that extra detail because sometimes Gemini will add some weird things to people's faces if you don't specify it. But overall, it's important to be as precise as possible. So let's go ahead and hit generate. And look at that, here's the result. I think it looks amazing, and it even removed the dress and gave her a pair of legs here that are really realistic in my opinion. The next thing I want to do is make the background purple, the overall lighting purple, and the coat purple. To simplify this after playing around with it, I found that it's better to select the original layer and the generated layer and then convert it to a smart object. So select both the layers, then go up to layer, smart objects, convert to smart object. And this is basically like nesting in Premiere Pro. If you double click on this, it'll open up as two separate layers, but now it's one layer. And now what we can do is we can use the marquee tool again, the rectangular marquee tool, which is here, or you can just press M, and let's go ahead and let's select this again, generative fill, and let's type out, change the color of the fur coat to purple and change the overall lighting to purple in the scene. And now let's hit generate, also using Gemini 2.5, aka Nano Banana. And look at that, here's the result. Here's the before and the after. And all we had to use was a text prompt. I mean, amazing. All right, there's so much more to show you that's really exciting, but first, a brief introduction. If you guys are new here, my name is Kelsey. I'm the creator of Premiere Gal, and usually on this channel, we do video editing tutorials, but we also do tutorials in After Effects for visual effects and motion graphics, as well as Photoshop tutorials. If this video is helping you out, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And also, this is not sponsored, but if you are looking for graphic templates, 3D models, as well as photos and fonts to use in your graphic designs, I recommend Envato because they have the best price on the market. Now I've put a link to my affiliate link below, so if you decide to sign up, it helps support the channel. That's all, and now let's show you some more generative fill effects. All right, so this is generative upscale. So if you have an old image or a photo that's a little bit lower resolution and you want to upscale it, you can use generative upscale. So this is the thumbnail that I downloaded from my YouTube channel from a video from a couple years ago. And the resolution is okay, but as we zoom in here, you can see, it gets pixelated pretty fast and it's not as high of quality that I would like to use before I make some more changes to it. So with the layer selected, you're going to go up to Image, Generative Upscale. And you can choose 2 times or 4 times. Let's try with 2 times and upscale. So let's go ahead and zoom out by pressing Command 0 or Control 0. And you can see that it created a new upscaled version on top of our original. So this is the upscaled version, but let's turn off this layer and show you the original. Look at the difference. It even added details in my eyelashes. So now we just have an overall sharper image, bigger image to use to then add designs too. And from here, if you want to, you can also use a text prompt to change this image's camera angle without having to reshoot it. You just use a text prompt. So this is game changing for YouTube thumbnails, right? So if you want to A/B test different angles to see what performs well, you can create new angles of the same image. So that's what we're going to do with this thumbnail. So I'm using the generative upscaled version here, and with it selected, I'm going to go back up to the rectangular marquee tool and just select this entire image. and select generative fill. And let's type in change camera angle to a high angle. Click here to make sure that you're using the Gemini 2.5 Nano Banana and generate. And look at that, it made an entirely new angle from the image. I mean, this is incredible. And we can try out as many different angles as we want. We can keep this one here and just turn it off, go back to the original, and then select again. And this time, let's type in change camera angle to a low angle, generate. And here's the result. We have a low angle. So here's the original, low angle, and the high angle. And you can export these two new angles to test out on YouTube. Now, I recommend doing this when your design is done, so that way all you have to do is use generative fill to change the angle of the entire design. All right, so if this wasn't enough, let's take it a step further. So let's say I want to composite another person in this thumbnail. So here I have a headshot of my editor, Rickard, and I want to add him behind me, let's say with his hand on my shoulder for this particular thumbnail. Now, just to make it easier with it selected, let's go ahead and select subject, and then we can select this button here to create a mask. So that way it removes the background. You can try without removing the background, but I find that I get better results when I do that. So now I can select this and position it in the area that I want him to be. Now, before I use generative fill to composite him into the scene, I first want to harmonize the lighting to match my existing photo in the background. So with the headshot selected, I'm going to click on this new button called Harmonize. And this is just going to analyze the background image of me and apply the same lighting to Rickard's headshot. It's pretty incredible. And look at that. You can see that there's a new harmonized layer. We can turn off the original headshot here. And next, with this harmonized layer selected, we can go ahead and use the rectangular marquee tool again, select the entire frame, and then go to generative fill. And this is where you type in a prompt of how you want to composite this image into the existing one. I typed out, add a body to the man and place him behind the woman. Place his right hand on the right shoulder of the woman. Do not change the woman's appearance or clothing. And this is important because when I tested this out before, it would change me, add more hair to me, or add an extra button in my shirt, or do something weird. So it's important to include that detail. And then I added blend the man seamlessly into the scene. And now let's generate. All right, so here's the result. I think it did a pretty good job. If we turn off these layers here, we can see this is the original headshot. This is the harmonized layer of the headshot. And then this is the instructional edit that Gemini 2.5 Nano Banana created just using that text prompt. So, if we wanted to post this thumbnail with Rickard behind me, this is a really easy way to do that. So you can imagine the possibilities here when it comes to creating designs and if you want to place objects or people inside of it. Let me show you another example. I have this background of a soccer stadium, or if you're from the rest of the world, a football stadium, and I have this stock photo of this soccer player and I want to place him in this scene. So first off, I'm going to select the subject and let's go ahead and create a mask to remove the background. Now with this selected here, click on Harmonize. And this is going to apply the lighting of the background to our soccer player. And look at that. It even added a shadow. If it doesn't work out the first time for you, you can always generate again until you get the result you want. It's so freaking cool. So you can see how this can be useful for a variety of scenarios, not just for sport photo editing, but for any graphic design for that matter. So if this video helped you out, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I think that these new tools are going to save you a ton of time when it comes to design inside of Photoshop. And if you want to learn more Photoshop tips, you can click this video right over here. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, keep creating better video with Gal. See you next time. Bye. Whoop. I can't reach the lens now. It's too far away. Editor, fade to black.
Breaking massive news here at Occupy Democrats. Caught red-handed. Donald Trump, oh, what a tangled web we weave when we practice to deceive, because his favorite thing is to point fingers, but there's three pointing back. And the reality is, whatever Donald Trump says and blames others for doing, he's doing himself. Because we had good warning about this massive breaking story you don't want to miss. Remember when this was said about one of his insiders 3 years ago after his first term here?
What was the most disturbing thing that the president said during that meeting on June 1st?
The president is ranting at the room, using a lot of foul language. You know, you all are effing losers.
And of course, Trump always plays the oh, poor me card.
Oh, he's weaponizing government. Trump is weaponizing government. It's terrible. Can you imagine? They say to me about weaponize, I don't weaponize anything.
But after getting elected to a second term, he says this at the State of the Union.
We've ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me.
We were warned, we knew, and yet MAGA plus a ton of other dependents voted him right back in.
We're at a different spot now. He's going to finally give a direct order to deploy paratroopers into the streets of Washington, D.C., and I'm thinking with weapons and bayonets.
So what does he do? He invents a problem and a definition for Antifa.
Do you plan on designating Antifa finally a domestic terror organization?
Well, it's something I would do, yeah. If I have support from the people back here, I think would start with Pam, I think, but I would do that 100%, and others also, by the way, but Antifa is terrible.
To allow him to claim this.
The Insurrection Act is a tool at the president's disposal. As you know, it has been used sparingly, but it has been used by previous presidents in American history.
And sadly, we knew he wanted to shoot people 3 years ago.
What specifically was he suggesting that the U.S. military should do to these protesters?
He says, can't you just shoot them? Just shoot them in the legs or something.
The commander-in-chief was suggesting that the U.S. military shoot protesters.
Yes, in the streets of our nation's capital.
And now there are 2 innocent American citizens dead in Minnesota while he continues to say this.
Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law.
So in this breaking story, it's all about Trump, but one of his besties, Blondie Bondi, basically buried Trump while she was being excoriated in her hearing just up on the Hill because she let the cat out of the bag and the truth of Trump's tyrannical totalitarianism came to light. Check this freaking story out right here.
Pam Bondi admits DOJ has a secret domestic terrorist list. Attorney General Pam Bondi for the first time acknowledged the existence of a secret list of domestic terrorist organizations during a House Judiciary Committee hearing on Wednesday. I know Antifa is part of that, Bondi said under questioning about the list from Representative Mary Gay Scanlon, D. Pennsylvania, the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee's Subcommittee on Constitution and Limited Government. Bondi refused to offer any further details about the domestic terrorist organization database being compiled under President Donald Trump's National Security Presidential Memorandum 7, or NSPM 7. The goal was to get her, even by denying
that you've made on a clip, that you can right click that block motion and save it as a specific preset. So we can do this block motion spin version, and then that'll always be in your preset folder, which I do sell some presets on my website, but I'm working on some new ones for these film impact ones. So check out justinojshow.com/shop for those. Last but not least, there's also this fun new surprise me button. So all of that adjustment that we just did, if you just click surprise me, it'll just throw a bunch of random adjustments for all the parameters, and you can get some pretty crazy results. Sometimes they look pretty good and usable, but I also like to use it like if you're just getting familiar with what these effects do. If you just click surprise me a bunch of times and see what kind of different results you get and see what the parameters are, it lets you see the possibility and sort of the flexibility that can be achieved within that effect. So the same way you can transition in, you can also transition out of the clip if you apply the transition at the end. And we'll quickly work through what else is available in this animation folder now. So there's the flip motion. This is, I mean, all of these are pretty self-explanatory, but they basically all have within them these same effect controls that I just explained, and pretty much everything is similar there. One cool one, you'll see this fold motion one works well with video clips because there's no black bars. Whenever it says insufficient media there, that just means we're at the end of the clip, so if it needs to, it'll repeat the final frames. It's not an error, it's just normal. So if you weren't at the end of the clips, for example, it wouldn't show like that, and it also wouldn't have those transparent lines. But the fold motion is pretty cool. It has, and again, you'll notice all of those familiar effects that I just looked at, but some cool surprise me's. You don't just have to have a straight half up and down fold. You can fold from different directions. You can do multiple page flip sort of things. The other thing I haven't covered yet is this seed. This is kind of like a random number seed. And instead of hitting the surprise me button, you can always just kind of scroll through the different seeds and get a different possibility or a different result. Also, just for example, these also work on graphic layers or logos. So here's pop motion. It sort of pops in, has that little bounce to it if you want. But again, you can just change it to be non-bouncy. And you start to get the idea with this animation folder. We don't have to do all of these scale keyframes and speed ramping or curving by hand. We just have all of these different easy options that we can just drag and drop, get the sort of graphic and text animations that look sleek. There's also pull motion. This kind of fades in, kind of like a focus pull. There's spin motion. I mean, all of these are pretty self-explanatory, but again, you have all of those parameters in the effect controls when you highlight the transition tape. And let's say we don't want multiple spins, we can choose how much angle we do. So only 150 degrees, possibly. We can do the full 360, so 1x cycle you'll see, and that'll do one full cycle from the beginning to the end of the transition, and also spin out. So if you don't like that little bounce or that little overshoot again, you can get rid of those in the visual curve graph editor. Sometimes I find that those can look a little too factory preset. We've also got spring motion. This one I guess we should show with a lot of bounces. So spring motion. And finally, travel motion. So this one just travels from a certain direction. It's coming from the bottom right now, but as you go into the effect controls, you can choose the angle that it comes in. So 90 degrees, you even see the arrow. It's going to come from left to right. And if you ever want to get back to that dashboard, once you have it open, you can click this double arrow, Film Impact Dashboard. So those are the 8 effects in the Film Impact animation transitions. In the next episode, we're going to check into the dissolve section, which has a lot more video effects, not just graphics. So click on the end card to head to the next episode. My name is Justin Odisho. You can check out the full Every Effect playlist. We're working straight down the list, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. We are doing another live but not live, mainly because we don't trust our internet at the moment to put out the quality that we want to share with you all. So same as last video that we put up, it's all like it was live, it's all filmed live in-house, no editing is done. Yeah, live, recorded live. So we're shooting with the beautiful, wait, where did she go? Beautiful Rara again today. We just finished filming the latest Inspire tutorial, and we thought we would give you a little behind the scenes look at what we've been doing. I'll flip it over to Peter.
Cool. So what we're doing today, first thing I need to clarify a couple of things. In our last video, we had a lot of people ask us about this really special yellow gel light. This yellow gel light is a heater. It has no effect on my lighting whatsoever. So if you see this in shot, it's not actually a light, it's a heater, because we're about 5 degrees in the middle of winter today, and Rara's wearing practically nothing.
Treat our models well.
The next thing is, we're up here, we have a constant light, and over here we have a constant light.
Hang on, this gimbal's, I knew this gimbal would give me hassles. There we go.
And over here we have a constant light, and this light here is so Beck looks pretty when she sits here. This light here is so you can see everything we're doing on the actual stream. If I was to take my flash off, so this is taking my flash off altogether and taking a shot, and you'll see on my screen it is pitch black, so those lights are doing 0 to the actual photo. We are shooting today f9 at 160th of a second at 100 ISO, sorry. And I've got a 100mm on the Hasselblad, which makes it around about an 80mm on a DSLR. I am using ProPhoto, I'm using their large 5-foot softbox, and it's on a Manfrotto. This isn't a sales thing, it just saves us answering questions later. This is called a Mega Boom. Unfortunately, this plus this in Australia is about $3,000, so it's incredibly expensive. In Australia, I think the softbox is about $600 or $700. But in a home studio, I would suggest something like this. So it's still the same light, still a D2 light, but we just got the large umbrella, deep dish, with the sock on it, on a C stand. It's like gonna be, I think you can nearly do all of that for the cost of just this stand. The difference is with this stand, I have this gorgeous flexibility of just changing everything here. With them, I've got to physically lift things. So the whole tutorial we just finished shooting was how, in one of our previous tutorials we did about just by changing the background, we could completely change the look of the shot. We're not going to change background. The whole thing's going to be shot in the psych. We're not going to touch the light at all. We're not going to touch the power of the light. We're just going to move the model or myself to change the look of the light. So I've already set up all the light, got my exposures.
I'm just going to flip to the tripod quickly because this gimbal is not my friend today.
So I've got Rara on a piece of tape. We've already set up the lighting, the power of the light. I've already set up my settings in the camera. I'll just take a shot, cool, and this will show you our picture with this shot. So you'll see that I've already got some settings sitting here, which is my exposure. I've got a little bit of contrast turned on. I've got a bit of focus clarity, which is non-destructive clarity. In Capture One and in ACR, you can now turn down textures, so your clarity isn't destructive on skin. I've put a curve, which is mainly putting contrast into the highlights, and I'm setting grayscale on the green channel. That's pretty much my settings. If I was shooting on my Sony or a Canon, I'd be either tethering to Capture One, and then at the moment I'm still doing most of my raw converts off my Sony through ACR because I'm really comfortable with ACR, and I still haven't worked out my look in Capture One. So the whole idea of this is to show that I can change the look of my shoot just by changing the position of myself or the model. But to start with, I'm going to get a couple of nice shots of the model like this to start with. All my settings are fine. Cool, cool. Just pull back a fraction. Cool, stunning, stunning, stunning. Cool, cool, beautiful, beautiful. Cool. So we've got a shot of this, and you'll see that's a really nice fashiony shot with nice contrast and feel on this shot. This halo thing is pretty much what I can do. See how that one slider, that magical slider in Hasselblad, allows me to do that. I can do this in ACR and Photoshop, but not as easy as what I can do this in Focus. And unfortunately, this is for Hasselblad. If I put my Sony through this, I don't get those 3 sliders. So now what I'm going to do is do a change and come in and do a headshot, and then I'm going to show how I can change the whole feel of the shoot just by moving either myself or the model. Cool. So I'm staying pretty much in the same line as what I was in before. Cool, that's really cool. Stunning. Can you turn around? Yeah. And drop that down a bit so it's below your belly button? Sure. So she's turning around so you guys can't see anything. Now come back. It's only because I wanted to shoot a little bit further down her waist, but I didn't want the stocking in this shot. So there's my first frame, which is not a good one. I didn't crop it very well at all. I'll shoot that again. I need to be a little bit closer. I tend to always have my crop in camera. I don't like cropping afterwards, so I tend to shoot up my picture. Cool, that's much better. Beautiful, beautiful eyes. Stunning. So that's looking much nicer there. Yeah, cool. So this is giving us a really cool picture. So with the same lighting, we've gone from that to that without changing anything. Now, if I want to make her softer, like make it a little bit, at the moment you'll see across her face here, we've got a fall off and nearly a Rembrandt. If I wanted to make this softer, and I'm going to come off tripod now. If I come and shoot with the light, she still stays on the same spot. Cool, cool. You'll see that that picture just softened off. You'll see that there's less Rembrandt onto that picture there. I could come across even further with this light and come in here. Stunning, stunning. That's really pretty. Cool. And now you'll see, if anything, I've started to put the Rembrandt on the other cheek. And I come even further around this light. Cool. And further, and further. Cool. And further. Sorry, I got heater in background, but it'll give you an idea of just by me working around this light, I have got, look at all of those different lightings I've got just by moving. The next thing is I can actually move the model around a little bit. So I'm looking at, I have a power thing. So at the moment we know that whatever my camera setting's on is exposed to here, which I think was F9. So I don't have glasses on, so I can't read this, but don't say, oh, better look. It's all right, don't get old. Yeah, F9.
Should have trusted yourself, Peter.
Yeah, nah. Nah, the worst person in the world I would trust is me. So I had F9 here, so the most of the power is here, so I'd most likely have to come back here to get F9, whereas there would most likely be pushing F11. If I bring Rara around to here, if she was here, I'm going to overcook, but if I bring her back a bit, I think F9 is going to be sitting about here. So if I jump her about there for a minute, cool, cool, that's really pretty. Snap in there, and if anything, I'm most likely about F8 there. If anything, I might be slightly under, but that's fine. I can always bring that a bit brighter. But if you sneak in the tiniest bit, no, too much, half. About there, cool, beautiful, that's really pretty. Cool, cool. So you'll see that there, we've got a whole different light. So if I go back a couple, See all the different lights I've got, there's just taking that step. And then if I want to have something a little bit more contrasty, can you come right out to here? Perfect. Now, if I shoot it here, I'll get my exposure here. It's not going to be super contrasty. It's going to be a little bit, but you'll see there's more contrast. You'll see there's a bit of, a little bit of Rembrandting happening. But then if I move to here, cool, that's awesome. Eyes, girl. Yeah, that's better. Cool, beautiful. I know it's been a long day. Right, you'll see, look at this gorgeous shot we've got here. So you'll see how that's pulled off really nicely there. So again, remember, I've not changed the camera setting. I've not changed any of my power settings or my light settings at all. So I might get Rara now to sit down on our original. Yeah, we were just in front of your original spot. So maybe come into about there. Maybe a fraction further. Yeah, about there. So we're going to bring Rara down onto the ground, and I've moved her a little bit closer to the light than what we originally set. I just guesstimated. And cool, if we come in here, a little bit far out. Cool, cool, cool. We'll get this beautiful shot up here, which is this gorgeous shot. Yes, the psych is dirty. I love dirty psychs. I hate clean sites. It means you have to paint them after every shoot. Dirty psychs, the longer you leave them without paint, the better they look. So I've got that shot there. If I want to make that a little bit nicer, if I shot with the light a little bit, actually liking, oh, that shape is beautiful. If I come in here, then that's pretty. Then I push the model. Eyes, girl. It's hard. We have had a long day. She's been here since 10 o'clock this morning. Cool, that's stunning. Cool, that's pretty. That's really, drop your arm a fraction. Here, cool there. Cool, beautiful, beautiful. Cool, stunning. So if anything, cool. This is one of my preferred lights. The light's up high on her. We're getting this gorgeous chisel jaw. We're getting this nice in on her eyes. See how we get this half moon at the bottom, which is the bounce off the floor, and that little catch light at the top. So it gives us that beautiful attitude. But other things I can do with this again is if I move around and if I came round to off center, and I'm going to lose a bit of my background if I went low, so I'll just come up a bit higher. If I come into here, cool. Just crop in a bit, bring your arm out a fraction more. Cool, perfect, perfect, perfect. Cool. You'll see that that's the look we get by coming around here. So see that really nice bit of Rembrandt that we're getting here in this nice fall off. And because we're in a white psych, we're getting nice bounce off the other walls to fill in. I could come round even slightly behind her and do a shot in here. Cool, beautiful. And I'll get a different look. And then I could come, my problem is I've got a heater sitting there. Although I could come in a shot here without the heater, that's cool, that's really pretty. And I could come down here with this, cool, stunning, 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 stunning. So it gives us another 3 looks. If I come into here and crop so we don't get her shoes, we've got that look there. So you see how a little bit of movement changes the light a lot. And so I hope you enjoy this. Again, these are little takes that we do at the end of our editorial shoots or our commercial shoots or filming for Inspire. So I hope you enjoy, and please, if you enjoy this, please subscribe to our channel.
Cool. So thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, feel free to leave any comments or questions down below, and we will leave any comments or questions down below, and we will answer them for you guys. Thanks. See you next time.
So we're right to go?
Yes.
So why you got to point it at me? And why have you set up the light so I look good?
I have frizzy hair.
Frizzy hair. That's a bit.
I just got deja vu for some reason. It's so weird when that
Don't give it to anybody.
Okay, I'll keep
Your
it to
screen is really glary. There we go.
Cool. Hey people of YouTube. Today oh no, I should say welcome back to our channel, shouldn't I? Welcome back to our channel. Today we are shooting with the incredible Bonnie. This is our third time working with her. Me and Peter's ESPN was totally working because we were thinking of contacting her for another shoot, and then she contacted us. So that was a bit spooky, but yep, now we are in the studio playing with natural light and a HMI. Bonnie's gone through and picked out the feel of what she wants to do for the shoot, and now Peter has set up the light and is going to run you through it.
Cool.
Cool.
She tries to be.
I'm a little bit of a dag.
So we'd done a tutorial on Inspire with Bonnie before and got a lot of really good feedback. Lots of people liked the transition we did from when, was that our first shoot or second?
It was the first.
First. So we'd never worked together, so people got to see me break her.
Oh, we're not allowed to say that.
Oh, not allowed to say break. Politically incorrect. Sorry, we're not correct at all. But it was, what break is take away habits that I don't like. So I won't say bad habits because other photographers might like them, but basically get her to model the way that I want them to. And it is a little bit like breaking what you're used to doing and then starting fresh again. And with doing that, sorry? Breakthrough, yeah. With today, we're doing just a mixed shoot, but part of what we're doing is we're doing a recreation of light. And whenever a model comes in to work with me, they go through a folder I have with, it's this folder here, and it has about 4,500 pictures in it. And they go through and pick out the mood to what they feel like for the shoot. And I'll always put my twist on it, but it just sets a mood to what we're going to do. And you'll see what Bonnie's picked. A lot of it is about having bare shoulders and a very natural type of look, natural lighting type of feel about it. So what we've just done is, this was our first inspiration shot, and we've tried to recreate the light to be able to still keep that feel, but also have it that suits the style that I shoot in. And here's one of the frames we've just shot. You'll see that it's fairly similar. And all I've done is we're using natural light, which is basically coming through here, and we've got a hair light happening at the moment. Because we have a smoke haze at the moment, we don't have direct bright sun, so it's giving a really nice hair light without overcooking her. And the one thing I noticed in our inspiration shot, there was definitely a catch light coming from down low. When we did our earlier setup without the lights from below, it was just, you'll see there's quite a bit harsher on her face. So we've ended up with it here, and I've just got a constant light on here bouncing onto this bit of foam to bring in a little bit of fill light on her. So with that, we're just going to shoot a little bit. I've seen some great pictures, and you're happy with what you're seeing, isn't it? And that's one of the most important things, that both the photographer and the model are both happy with what they're seeing. Then we're going to get great shots. Again, I'm shooting on a Hasselblad I'm 800 ISO because I want that slightly grainy type of feel. 7.1 at 160th of a second. I am manually focusing because, and people got confused last time they heard me say this. Megapixels don't make sharp. Well, doesn't make sharp. It just is how big you can blow the picture up or zoom in. I'm not a megapixel junkie. If this was 20 megapixel, I'd still love it. In fact, I most likely like it more. Megapixel just gives us so we can zoom in and things like that. The problem with a lot of our lenses today compared to our old lenses is they're so razor sharp. And Bonnie and I were just talking about this. The last thing you want is people to see every pixel in her skin. And in the old days, you used to put Vaseline on lenses. early digital, the first thing most photographers did was blur the picture, then mask out the eyes and lips to try and kill the sharpness. A lot of the photographers I follow tend to have that filmic look and the old look, and by me manual focusing, I can pull my focusing just slightly off the skin so it's not razor sharp, because this isn't for camera clubs or competition, this is for a motive to go on a wall. And you saw even yourself on those pictures, so just a little soft, but how pretty are they? Yeah, whereas as soon as it comes sharp, it's lost its prettiness. And it doesn't have that emotion. So what I'm doing with my focusing is pretty much going on the eyes and then pulling forward a little bit. And it's really easy on my Hasselblad to do. My Sony's really easy, but I always found it harder on my Canon because I found the viewfinder was too small for me to accurately do it. Anyway, so I've got my crop a fraction lower than where I want it, but that just gives Bonnie some room to move. That's really cool, that's really pretty. Do you want to go back a tiny step? Yeah, that's it. I just want to have a little bit of head room on you. Cool, that's really nice. Can't enough. What are you freezing for? You know what happens when you know what happens if you freeze? Well, yeah, all right. Cool. So she's the first time I shot her, she'd pretty much pull her pose and she'd wait a week. And if I didn't shoot in a week, I'd come back in 2 weeks, she'd still be there with the same pose. But now she's learnt that I need her to have feel, emotion, and you can't get that unless you move. And she did also want nice smiley shots today. There's real smiles, so that's cool. All right. That's really pretty, that's really pretty. Cool, cool. Just drift around. Who are you thinking about? That's cool. Beautiful, keep the movement. That's really nice, really nice. Work those eyes, that's really pretty. Keep going, keep going, keep. That's lovely, that's lovely. We're gonna shoot more often. That's really pretty. Awesome, awesome. I'm really liking that, it's cool, cool. Right, so what I want you to do, I'm going to take it next step because we didn't go as far as what I'm going to go with you now. And I'm forever learning. So last time I was in, I think it was Sydney, I taught myself a new word and a new trick. And it's called hyper-aware. So what hyper-aware means, that I'm going to slow you down a little bit. So you're moving a lot and it's great, but the problem is while you're moving, you're not affecting how you're feeling. Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if you're just moving, it's just moving. You need more. I need more. I need something to come out of the eyes. So one thing is by slowing down a little bit, what I want, hoping to get for you is hyper-aware. Now what hyper-aware means is if I just do this now, you felt that, didn't you? Right? So now I'm going to make you hyper-aware about it. What you're actually going to feel is every muscle down here move. So relax again. Can you feel where those muscles are moving? And it's all here, isn't it? No, this is good. Yeah. Okay. Right? So now that you've learned how to feel those little muscles move, so if you just stand there, what I want you to do is just drop, just move. Can you feel your face muscles move now? Just move slowly so it feels better. Come into a pose where you feel, oh, that feels nice. Can you start to feel what's happening on your face?
Yeah, I can. It's actually, I'm aware that it's more relaxed.
Yeah, but if you're moving quickly, you won't feel. No. So even if you stand strong and powerful like this, now just pretty it a little bit, drift a little. See? See how you felt that come into your face? That's what I mean by hyper-aware. So by moving quick, you're not going to get those feelings. But if you just move really slow, you'll feel little twists in your body will now come into your face and finish that shot off. All right, so let's see how you go with this. Sorry about all the pressure. You love it. Cool, that's really cool. Drift it slowly, more slow. Bring those up. Who you're looking at. That's better. Stunning. That's really pretty. That's really pretty. Cool. Nice. That's really pretty. Just keep. Are you starting to feel what I'm talking about now? So I'm shooting much slower. So I can, what I'm actually really doing is I'm watching those muscles. So when I see you move, all the skin just soften out. And then I click as that gets softer. It's really pretty. And get that loveliness in the, cool, cool, cool. And the one thing, I don't want you to laugh though. Whatever you do, don't laugh. If you want to get the prettiest picture in the world, don't ask a model to smile. You say, don't smile, and it works every time. Cool, cool, that's really pretty. Now, once I come into chasing smiling shots, that's where I'll come back on manual focus a little bit because I'll chase her more. Gorgeous, that's really pretty, that's really pretty. Stunning, stunning, stunning. Cool. I know, that's why I did it. What did you say you wanted today? You said you want some lovely smiling shots, didn't you? So now I've already planted the seed. Well, you do now. You got some rippers now. Cool, that's really pretty. And now what I can do is I can actually make her smile without even saying a single word. So all I have to do is when she comes into the camera is, if I wait long enough, she'll just smile. She won't help herself, right? So now every time I don't shoot, you watch. See? So I don't even have to say anything. I've already planted a seed and now she can't even fight what I've done with her. Cool, cool. And this is the best way to work. At the end of the day, I want to show pictures of what everybody who's really close to Bonnie gets to see every day. I don't want to show pictures of what every other photographer gets of Bonnie. Agree?
Totally. And you do. I always, when you shoot me, it's stuff that I've never seen before.
Yeah, because you can't see it. Because if you walk to a mirror, you're going to affect your face by what you see. So you actually don't see what you really look like. As soon as you hold a phone up to do a selfie, you've changed your face. Whereas all I'm doing is making you move, then planting little things about smiling in your head if I don't take a picture. Now every time I hold, every single time I hold and not shoot, she can't help it now. And what's the best of those embarrassed smiles where she has to look away? Did you ever have braces?
No.
You didn't? Oh.
So, I'm in the process of
no, so it's not for that reason. It's just some people that have had braces tend to always turn away when they smile. Or they'll lift their hand up.
Well, I've got little Invisalign.
Oh, right. So you feel a little bit
There's
conscious.
little things
So you're a bit, yeah, cool. It's all right. That's what Photoshop's for, to remove your Invisaligns. Cool, cool. It's really pretty. Feel it though. Make sure as you're moving, you're getting a feel off your movement. Cool, that's really nice. Drop it in, drop it in. There you go. You felt, right? And that's the trick. I want to get the eyes I want, she has to feel something. These are pretty, Bonnie. Yeah? That's really pretty.
It's making shy.
Yeah, that's just, it's real. If you look into your eyes, look, there's something in those eyes. And that's so pretty. Are they the pretty shots you wanted? Yes. The smiley ones?
Yes.
Look how many different looks we just got in that very short time. Wow.
Yes.
So, I think we better get back to work. So with YouTube out there, we've got lots of work to do today, so we're going to bury ourselves in some work. We might take another section out of the shoot later on, but I think what we've just done is covered us well.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And Beck's not happy unless she gets her face in front of the camera at least twice a day.
Hey.
Come over here more, then you can have Bonnie light.
Bonnie light?
Bonnie light.
Hopefully it fixes my skin.
Fixes your skin.
Oh, and my teeth.
Oh, sass. Tell me what you really think.
Anyways, that was enough sass for a Friday morning. I hope you guys enjoyed this and obviously got to see how many different looks we just snapped off. And
hey, we did this without you having a single wine.
oh yeah, wow.
Wow.
Wow. Well, it's way too early for wine. That'll come out
I've
later.
never heard you say that before in my life.
It's too early. It's like before 12.
What
was I going to say?
I don't know, you're playing with your nails.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. As always, links to everything will be down below. We will have Bonnie's Instagram down below. We will have Inspire down below, where we will have you can see the first time that Peter worked with Bonnie, and also a bit more of an in-depth from this afternoon with where we play around with stuffs. Workshops coming up as well. Europe will be announced very soon, so you can sign up to the mailing list. We do still have Melbourne coming up in a few weeks. I'm being a typical sales plug person, which we know I all hate by now. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you very soon. Okay, we are recording. Hello everybody, happy Monday. I hope you all had a great weekend. We wanted to go live today, but our internet is playing up, classic Australia. So we're doing a recorded live for you today from our shoot. We're in the middle of shooting an editorial with beautiful Rara and awesome Daniel, our stylist. So we thought we would give you a little behind the scenes of it.
You stick your head in there.
Who's tallest?
Which camera are you looking at?
This one.
Hi guys, Daniel Stylist here. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I will quickly flip it over and we'll have a look at what Peter and Rara are doing.
Cool. So with this, we've set up HMIs to do 3 or 4 different lighting setups with 2 lights. So we've got one set up here, and this is running through all of this rubbish here. Now I know it looks messy, but all of this is to cast a shadow on that wall that I'm going to work Rara into. And over this side, we've got a HMI again, which is a constant light, and we're running this through. We're running this through this rack to cast shadows over here. And then we've got a couple little secret looks which are down through here, which we'll quickly do as well. With this, we're going to start off with how the stylist styled it, and then I'm going to do what I do and rip it apart a little bit. I'm going to just move this because I'll run out of cable. Hopefully this will wheel over more. Cool, that should give me enough cable now. Cool, so if I just do my setup shot, I'm just going to do, I've already done a pre-setup. I have 2 different settings in my focus software. One is for this wall and another setting is for this wall, because these 2 lights got different sort of feels to them. So this wall here is less contrast, so I added more contrast in focus, and then this wall has got heaps of contrast, so I didn't put any contrast in this. So if I just come in and get a shot, cool. And I'm just going to check what came up onto the wall. And I put glasses somewhere. Becca can flick me over. Cool, so if I put my highlight alerts on, and bang, there's my highlight alerts turned on. I've got nothing going over on this shot. If I just push this up further, yeah, so the highlights alerts are working, but I've set this up so it's not got anything going off, and I can move Rara around this wall, and that's this setting is for the other wall, and you'll see my settings have changed a little bit from, well, they should have, hopefully. Yeah, you'll see on the side the settings have changed. So if I go onto these settings, you can flick over to the other camera if you like, and I throw Rara onto the far wall, what this allows me to do, yeah, perfect. This allows me to do, cool, 2 different lightings really quickly, but still keep the same feel about it. So I think I'm going to start, we'll start there, yeah. So I'm just going to do some fashion on here, and all I'm doing is I'm going to watch Rara's face to where the shadows are coming, and you'll hear me say to Rara, feel the light, and that's based on her feeling the actual light hitting her face. Cool, cool, cool. Just slot back this way a little bit more, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. I just want to get that light on her, so cool. That's beautiful, beautiful, stunning, 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 cool, cool. And in here we've also got this really nice light which is along here. That's really cool. That's beautiful, 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 beautiful. So really nice lights in on these different angles. That's stunning, 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 stunning. That's really cool, that's really cool. Cool, so I might just, don't cross the cables. So these are the shots we just took on the contrasty wall, and you'll see that there's our shot side on, and there's our shot more front on. We're just going over on just on the edge of the jacket, but I'm at 210 the whole way through, so I've got heaps of, one channel's going for 245, so that's fine. I've got plenty of detail in that. So if I come back onto this wall, which means I need to change my settings back to the settings I used for that wall, which is those settings. So with this, I'm just, cool, that's really cool, that's really cool. Cool, I'm just going to check my very first frame, make sure my exposure's fine, looks perfect. And with this, I can shoot, cool, cool, cool. Nice, just feel the light, move till you feel the light, that way maybe. Oh, that's nice, that's cool, 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 cool. And with this here, I've also got 2 different angles. I can come in along this angle, stunning, stunning. It's really pretty, beautiful, beautiful. Or I can just come along a bit. I'm gonna get you inside one of the hoops. Yeah, just there, perfect, perfect. Cool, beautiful. Beautiful. I'm just gonna change these up a little bit. So what I'm doing, I'm changing the pattern on the wall. So that's just given, cool, that's really pretty. That's really pretty. Beautiful, beautiful, stunning, 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 cool, 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 cool. I'm just going to check that I think you might be just a little bit too much in the shadows. Yeah, I'm happy with how that's sitting. Yeah, that's really pretty, that's really pretty. That's beautiful. So this is the stylus setup, and so this is the stylus setup. I'm going to do what I normally do, and I call it Coco Chanel, which is lose one piece. So I like this setup, but I'm finding the strip through her top is blocking her up. So I'm going to get Rara just to take the top off, but we're going to keep the jacket covering her. Well, I'll get the stylus to take the top off. So maybe just point to the corner.
Oh, yep.
Could maybe click to this camera. How does that look?
To that one?
Yeah. Right, so now that I've brought it back to my type of styling, we're going to, cool, that's really pretty. That's cool. Cool, now just go drift into the light, feel the light on your face. Cool. It's perfect, 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 perfect. Stunning, 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 stunning. That's really cool, that's really cool. There, just there. Drop the chin over a little bit. Come into the light a fraction. Swing around a bit more. Cool, 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 cool. That's really pretty. That's really pretty. Cool. Drift back to the light that way. There, just there. That's really pretty. That's really pretty. Stunning, 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 stunning. I like the silhouette it's giving. I've also got a really nice shot in here. Yeah, just there. Sneak up to me a little bit. Keep coming out that way. Just there. Back a fraction, sorry, and back in this. I just want to get a little bit there. Too far, just a fraction. Yeah, cool. So this is just giving me a tiny, cool. Drift this way a little bit. There, cool. I'm getting the mottled light caused by this shining onto Rara, and the next, cool, beautiful. That's really pretty. I'm going to drop her over to the other side, but maybe I can just show you some of these shots that I just did. So these were the shots we just got. You'll see where I've just dropped her into that shadowed area. We've got lots of nice different moods. Some are when she got into the shade a little bit, some are a little bit dark, but most of these are fine. I'm going to jump on to my other setup for the other lighting. That's it there. And I'm going to shoot her on this, but I'm going to also change up a couple of things. So the first thing I'm going to change up is I'm actually going to shoot.
Hang on 1 second so people can see what you mean.
But then they're going to need to see the picture.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's right, you'll have to flick the
it. I just wanted them to see what you meant when you said that.
All right, so I'm coming in through here and I'm just going to focus. I'm setting up between the racks that I like. It's really cool. Let's come up into here. That's cool. That's stunning. Cool, beautiful. Coming up all right?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm getting this sort of grid effect through this. That's really cool. I like that. Where's my... I'm just looking for a really nice vignetting gap. That's cool. Beautiful. Cool. And then I'm just going to come back. Cool. Shuffle this way a little bit. Just there. Cool. Stunning. A touch more. Keep moving that way. There. Just get that light. Cool. Beautiful. Cool. Turn your face more to the light. Cool. Beautiful. Stunning. If we come around here a little bit, I'm just going to do the soft, pretty shot. That's stunning. That's really pretty. Beautiful. Stunning. Cool. Now I do have one other light, and I'm going to go down this little hole. So I don't know what camera is going to pick this up. Can you see me down here?
Yeah, you've kind of got a reflector on your head, but
that's all right, but I'm down here.
Yes.
So everyone can see who I am. I'm hidden down this hole. I'm using this white wall behind me to bounce this light that's coming down here into this, back onto Rara's face. And I'm putting this beautiful halo over her. Stunning. Cool. I'm just going to let Beck tell me what my exposure is.
You are, wait, like what F you're at, or? Wait, what? What do you mean?
How my exposure is looking.
Oh yeah, it's fine. The halo around Rara's hair is just going off.
It's going off?
Yeah.
It likes it? Is that like going off sick?
Yes. Precisely.
Cool. Come off the wall a touch, just so I don't have timber in it. That's it. Beautiful. Just going to check. Yeah, cool. Stunning. Cool. Come across a bit. Keep coming. I'm going to have the timber in. I've got no choice. Stunning. Or you come out this way a bit. Just there. Go back a touch. Stunning. It's really pretty. So there's just one other area I can shoot. So I'm happy with both of those looks. So then we're going to go to our next styling, and we're going to enhance the pants.
You see,
so,
we're really dark.
Sorry?
We're really dark. We can talk to this camera now.
We can talk to this camera now? So we're going to now enhance the pants. I'm just letting Rara get implied, and she's going to do a Kate Moss with a crossed arm. You right? Yeah. Where did we do that? Here or over the other side? Over that side, yeah, cool. Do you want to get on this side and do a Kate Moss?
Totally. Oh, good God.
And what I might do is just go slightly wider with my lens at the moment. I'm on 100 mil. I'm on an 80. I'm going to drop down to a 50. And just allows me to get, that's cool, that's really cool. So I want to, cool, that's stunning. It's really cool. Cool, 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 cool. Beautiful, beautiful. So I just want some of the pants in the shot to tie the rest together by me enhancing the feel of, that's really pretty. Stunning, cool, cool, cool. That's stunning, cool, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Cool, I'm not checking a thing, so I'm hoping I'm not too dark. I'll just jump on and have a look. That's cool. Maybe I'll just bring a touch more light, although these are
So cool.
they're so cool. You like?
Love them.
You love them. It's really good when the model likes something. I'll just do a couple more. I'm just going to change my, I think I'm on 200 here. So I'm going to come back to 1/60th of a second because now we've taken the white jacket off. I'm not going to have as much problem with overexposure on the jacket. Cool, 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 cool. Cool, that's lovely. Awesome, awesome. Cool, beautiful, beautiful. Cool. Back a little bit. About there, yeah. Why I'm asking Rara to slide back a little bit is I just want to get a little bit more bounce off this brightest part of the light. Stunning, that's really cool. Yeah, even further with your nose. Yeah, that's cool. So if anything, head just slightly. Cool. Maybe come